We are talking to Astrid Kanther, the Women's State League captain from Kings Park Tennis Club, about the big match against Peppermint Grove this Saturday afternoon. Astrid, welcome to Scotty's Media. Now let's start off by talking a little bit about your career, some of the influences as a young girl growing up in WA tennis. Who are some of the people that you aspired to be?
I guess when I first started playing, the ladies playing State League that I was always looking up to was, say, Nicole Sewell, Siobhan Drake-Brockman, and then even back to people like Donna Blackwell and Robin Lamb, that kind of ilk, yeah.
And you got a chance to play some of your idols when you was just starting with State League?
Yes, I did. I played Donna a couple of times very early on. Obviously, she got the better of me when I was 15, and then actually had the pleasure of playing with Nicole on the same team for about 4 or 5 years.
How do you find the camaraderie in the women's game? We're playing the same girls sort of year in, year out, a few exceptions with the juniors coming through. But how do you find the camaraderie against some of your opponents? Is it a little bit niggly, or is it all sort of, fairy cakes and lemonade?
I wouldn't say there's many fairy cakes. I think women by nature obviously tend to hold grudges a little bit longer than guys, and we also tend to stick within our same team for quite a long period of time. So it's good and bad in that you make very good friends with the ladies that are actually on your team, some of which I would say are lifelong friends, which is great, but then there's obviously opponents that will always be opponents, and that's where it stays.
Well, let's talk about your team. You've got a very good team. You've always been perennial finalists, certainly over the last 3 or 4 years at Royal Kings Park. Go through some of the players that you've got in your team, and I guess some of the players to look out for in years to come.
Yeah, sure. So our number one for this half of the season has been Chanel Iconi. She's been with us for a couple of years now, and yeah, she's just an absolute pleasure of a person, number one, but obviously her playing ability, she does improve week by week, as lots of the juniors do. Then we also have Sky Royal, who's another young junior coming up. And then we have myself, Nina Kadovic as well, who's obviously had a very successful career when she was a junior. Stopped playing for a couple of years, but she's been back playing State League. She's one of my best friends for 5 or 6 years now. And then we also have Tiwa Casey and Sally Partington, and our marquee player, Jelena Stojanovic, who played with us last year and the year before that actually, so 2 years. We're expecting her back at Christmas time.
Now, we're on the centre courts here of Royal Kings Park Tennis Club. I mean, used to be the home of WA tennis. Are these the courts that you play your State League matches on, or are we playing on the cafe courts, or are we playing down in the traditional clubhouse arena?
We will be playing on the cafe courts. That's what they refer to them, just outside on the terrace for the next gen there. I think the main reason for that is obviously access to the toilets, the cafe, all that sort of thing is a bit easier.
Now let's talk about the match on Saturday against Peppermint Grove Tennis Club. They are clearly one of the best teams in the competition, men's and women's, and they've got some really good up-and-coming girls. Tell us a little bit about what you're expecting this weekend.
Yeah, Peppermint Grove do have a really strong team this year. Obviously, we've already played them once and they beat us earlier in the season. I think probably the biggest difference for this upcoming fixture is just the surface. So obviously we played them at Peppermint Grove on the very slow, hard courts there. Our grass courts do play quite low, quite quick. So that will be quite a different, but they do have a very strong team, so we'll have to sort of jiggle with our order and see what we can come up with. But at the end of the day, obviously the way that the final structure is this year, if we don't get the win, we just move on and try again next week.
Now, of course, Astrid is part of the Court Talk team on 91.3 Sport FM. Are you enjoying your time talking about the Women's State League? You've been a regular for the last few years on the show. You're enjoying really getting under the hood of the Women's State League and talking about it?
Yeah, it's very good fun, very good banter, which is obviously one of the pluses. But I think it's always interesting just to find out a little bit more about everybody, and I think everyone within tennis circles knows that I do that now, so people are happy to sort of give me little tidbits of gossip and bits and pieces and say this, say that. So no, I'm really enjoying it.
Yeah, certainly one of the favourites, and this is Astrid Kanther, the Royal Kings Park State League Women's captain. Looking forward to a big match on the weekend. We'll be down there broadcasting as part of Scotty's Media and at Court Talk, and we'll be getting having some chats with you during the tennis as well. So good luck this weekend.
Thank you.